So you need to select ASP.NET Web Application with .NET Framework, and that too with C Sharp. Clara, how will you install Visual Studio there? So you will face lots of problem. You need to um, install the SQL Server. You need to install many other application. However, VS Code could work, but you need to install lots of stuffs. So if you are having MacBook, you can go with the boot camp. You can install the boot camp, and then you can go with the there you can use a window, and then you can install the Visual Studio. But on iOS I will never suggest you, because in future if you have to learn something, there are many other things which it would be better to use on window rather than on Mac. Okay, well guys, we have already learned that which project we have to select. Now let's go to the next, and let me put it into your folder. Did I put your code into October batch? Seems like. Sorry, we didn't start anything, right? So let me create a new folder for you. New folder. And here we need to, I'll name it as November batch 2019. I'll select that folder. So here you will see I'm creating your application into the November batch, and I'll call this application name as HTML class 1. Okay, so this will be our first HTML class, and I'll put it into 2019 application. Clear guys? Now I'll go to the create. So here it will ask me these options. First of all, you need to uncheck configure for HTTPS. It's by default selected. You need to uncheck it. This must not be selected for us now. Okay, go to the empty here, select an empty, and make sure configure for HTTPS must not be selected, and go for the create. And here once you will get it created, go to Solution Explorer. Okay, in case you will not find this, in case you do not find the Solution Explorer here, you can go to the view window, and then the first option there is Solution Explorer. You can click on it and you will get that Solution Explorer. For now you can close this window, which is here HTML class 1, the default one which is open. You can close it for now. Okay, go to Solution Explorer. Here you will see there is an HTML class 1. You can right click on it and you can go to add. So when you will go to add here, it will give you this window, more options. There you can select new items, and in the new item on the top you will find an HTML page. So if you want to create a website or any web application, you need to create a web page. And to create a web page, you have to create HTML page 1.s, this HTML page. Okay, I'll change its name index and .html. .html is an extension of an HTML web page. So I'll click add, and here you will see we will get some pre-default code written here. So let's actually look into the PPT here, from where we can get some brief about the code which was predefined written there. So when you are developing a website, then you have to take care of three things. Firstly, content. Second is the presentation, like how that content looks. Okay, how does it appear, or styling your content on the web page. And third one is the behavior, means when you will click on it, what will happen, or when you will take the cursor on it, or if you want to do some calculation, or maybe you want to display some data, you want to get the data. So that behavior things, these three things are used inside a web page. So how will you put the content? To place a content inside your web page, you need HTML. And to stylize it, to give it any style, colors, okay, design it, placing it any particular position, you need to use CSS. And to handle its behavior, you need JavaScript. Okay, so currently we will take care of content, so we need to learn about HTML in this PPT. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. Okay, so when we say that hypertext, it means connected. So the text which is connected with another page. So you can connect multiple pages with each other with the help of links. Okay, so what is HTML? The definition is written here, and where it is used, it's written here. You can also use spreadsheets, video clips, sound clips, and other application directly. This is the history of HTML. So guys, currently we are using HTML5, and it was developed in 2012. So I think more than 7 years. 7 years. Okay, so all of the projects which are web applications are now developed in HTML5. Okay, so you can skip HTML4 or the previous versions, but yes, you must have to aware of HTML5. Okay, so in this PPT we'll just cover basic of HTML, which you can use in HTML5 also. Okay, what is a tag? Tag is the basic discrete entity when you are using HTML, or when you have to write the code using HTML. So a tag can be a pair tag or an empty tag. Okay, so I'm sure that you all are at least little bit familiar with HTML. Is there anyone who does not know anything about HTML? Is there anyone? Guys, is there anyone who does not know anything? So you do not even know what is a tag, Mia? Is it? Okay, then maybe you need to put more efforts when you are learning the HTML. Okay, so HTML is based on the tags. So tags are either pair tag or empty tags. For example, this HTML tag is started here. So this is the starting tag. It will have a closing tag here. So this HTML is a closing tag. So this tag will be called as pair tag. If there is any tag that is having opening and closing tags, then it will be called a pair tag, like body tag. It is started here and it is closed here. Similarly, head tag. Okay, these all are pair tag. Title is also pair. But if you will see, meta tag is started here, but it is not having any closing tag. So this will be called as an empty tag. Okay, there are two types of tags, paired and empty. And tags are not case sensitive. Here it's displayed like how you can open a tag and how it must be closed. So guys, tag must be placed correctly. So if you are nesting a tag, for example, inside the para tag, if you are placing another tag, then that tag must be closed before the para tag. For an example, like inside an HTML tag, we are putting another tag which is title, right? So title must be closed before the head tag. Okay, so even if you will take the cursor on the head, it will tell that what is head or what is the body tag. Take the cursor on title or meta, it will give you the tooltip about it. Okay, so remember that para tag, if it is open, it must be closed, and any tag which is written inside the paragraph must be closed before the paragraph is closed. So tags must be placed perfectly, correctly. And nested tag, inside a tag you can put another tags also. Okay, so like inside the division you can use a paragraph. And the basic structure of an HTML, guys, first of all you need to write the first line, doc type HTML. The first line here says that you are working with an HTML5. It will tell to your browser that the page is developed, using HTML5. Same can be seen here, like the first tag. Okay, and second is the HTML tag here says to the browser that this is an HTML page, and inside that you have head tag. Inside the head tag you can put the things which will be common for the page. You can tell about the title, you can place the CSS, JavaScript file, okay, or you can define the base tag, okay, base for the anchor, the base link, okay. Similarly, body tag is actually used to display whatever the content you want to put on the web page. For example, I can right click on this page and I can click it on view in browser. If you will click on view in browser, it will open the web page in the browser. So currently this is an empty page, there is no text. This copyright is actually coming from the PPT, okay. So there is actually no text on it, so this is an empty page. So here you will see the body tag is not having content, that's why there is nothing on your web page. If you want to put any text on it, you can write here inside the body tag. For example, I'll write here maybe welcome to HTML. Just save it, okay. There is save button, you can click on save or you can press Ctrl S to save it. Now just refresh your web page. This is the text which you have placed, okay. So guys, there is one thing which you need to understand, that when you will write anything in the web page, okay, here we have put a simple text inside the body tag. Anything that you will write in the web page, it will be placed on the top left corner, okay, like you start typing on any page, any word or notepad, okay. So by default it will start from the top. If you want to bring it and then it will keep moving to the right side, okay. For an example, here, even if I will press here enter and I will write maybe second line has been started, so save it and now refresh, you will see it is coming in the same line, okay. This is a default layout of the web browser to put the content inside it, default behavior of the web browser. However, we can change it. How we can change it, I'll explain you, okay. So by default, it will put every item on the top left corner and it will let those items move from top left to the right side, and then it will let them move to the to the next line, okay. So guys, this is very important to understand. Why I'm explaining it, these things sound maybe very simple to you, but this is very important for you to understand, because if you want to design any web page, you need to understand the behavior of every element in the web page, okay. So here remember that, okay. So now let us see, there is one element which is called h1. H1 stands for heading, okay, heading tag. So if you will put any text here like page header, so save it and refresh, you will see it's a page header. So content is in bigger size and it's in bold, right. So that's actually the page heading. So remember one thing guys, this page heading is actually a block element. So when you are using a block element, this will break the default behavior of your web page layout, okay. So what does it mean? After this h1 tag, even if you will write any text, maybe hi, this is first HTML class, you can see I'm writing it into the same line, but when I will refresh the web page, it will come into the next line. However, there is a space in the same line, but it has been moved to the next line. Why? Because your page header, this heading tag h1 is actually a block element. There are multiple modes to put an element, but two famous modes are block and inline, okay. So if it is inline mode, then it will follow the default layout behavior of the browser, okay. But if it is block element, then block will move the next element to the next line, okay. block will start from, it will also start from a new line. Start from new line and move the next element to the next line. Okay. So even if before that page heading, if I will write here, this is first line, save it, and when I will refresh, you will see block itself will move to the next line, and whatever the next element, it will move it to the next line. So if you will find that you are writing some content and it is moving the next content to the next line, then it is by default, it is not an inline behavior, because inline behavior is the default behavior of the element which will put the content in the same line if there is a space in the line to put the content. Am I clear up to here, guys? Am I clear? So similar to heading 1, we have multiple heading tags. So we have from heading 1 to heading 6. Okay, you can use H1, H2, H3, H4. So this is H2, maybe second heading. Save it and refresh. You will see this is second heading. So as the numbers will keep increasing, like H2, H3 or H4, the size of the text will decrease. Okay, the font size of the text. So the font size will decrease. So here you will see maybe third heading. Save it and refresh. You will see it is smaller. And similarly, you can also go with H4, which is maybe fourth heading. Refresh and you will see fourth heading is there. So that is smaller, right? So as the heading tag will increase, the number will increase, the size will decrease. Am I clear? So let's move to our next part, next thing, which is title we have seen here. So inside the head, guys, you can use title tag. You can give it whatever the title you want, style, base link. We will learn in future later on. So you can put heading tag, okay, and then the paragraph. We'll understand what is a paragraph. But before that, this is the heading tag which we have seen here, okay. So the examples are given and output is given here. So next comes as a paragraph. So if you want to use a paragraph as when you will write anything in your English, so you use a paragraph. So the same purpose of the paragraph tag is here. So you can write here a paragraph text, okay, and in this paragraph tag you can put the code, maybe some text. I'll copy some text from a website that's called Lorem Ipsum. Lorem Ipsum is a free text, okay. So you can go to the website loremipsum.io. You can copy that text from here. So why I'm copying it from here? Because this text is not copyrighted, okay. So this is free text, so you can use it in any of your web page. I'll save that here. Now guys, you can refresh the web page and you will see there is a paragraph, and this is the Lorem Ipsum text. Now what I will do, I will create one more paragraph. So this paragraph is closed here. Look at there. If I will create one more paragraph and I'll put the text into it, let us see the behavior of paragraph. You will see after first paragraph there is space in the line, but still the text is started from the new line. The paragraph started from the new line. So paragraph is also a block element. Okay, so that is the reason I told you that you need to understand what is block element and what is inline. So paragraph is a block element, okay, and example are given here. We can even see the example that what we have seen, that we have created here, this one. Next comes a list. Lists are of two types. One is sorted list, or you can call them, sorry, not sorted. One is called ordered list and another one is called as unordered list. Okay, so if it is an ordered list, then you will get the items in a particular order, maybe with numbers like 1 2 3 4 5, or maybe with the alphabets A B C D. Okay, so for that you need to write OL. OL stands for order list, and for every list there needs a list item like li. For example, I'll write here maybe chair. Okay, and then table. Li stands for list item. For every item you need to add it. Chair, list, table, and maybe bottle, maybe water dispenser. So save it. When you will refresh, you will see. So this is an order list. With every item you will get a numbering 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, and if you want to get alphabets, then you need to write your type is equals to A. Okay, type is equals to A means it will put the alphabets there. Just refresh and you will see it's now A B C D. It's mentioned there. And guys, you can also give the Roman values. For that you need to write I. Okay, letter I in lowercase. Save it and refresh, you will see. So the Roman numerals in the lowercase. If you want Roman numeral in uppercase, you need to give the capital I there. Save it and refresh, you will see it's having the Roman numeral in uppercase. Okay, so similar to that, guys, if you want alphabet in uppercase, you need to put capital A on the upper. Refresh and you will see alphabet is in the uppercase. So it will start, if you are using the number, it will start from 1. Okay, same for the Roman numeral, and for the alphabet it will start from letter A. And guys, what if you do not want to start it from letter A? Maybe you want to start it from letter maybe K or some other. So for that you need to write here start. So what will be the start letter? Suppose that is K. So save it and refresh. Sorry, it must not be K. You need to give the number. So K may be 11th. Save it, and when you will refresh, you will see it will start from character K. Okay, similarly, if it is a number, then it will start from number 1. So if I'll give here type 1, start 11, so it will start from number 11. Okay, this is the order list you can use here. Its example are given here. This is actually an order list example is given here. Okay, so let's even I'm sorry, let's even check about the unordered list. And to use unordered list, I'll use UL, and here I will give the list item. So for example, coffee and tea, milk, lemonade. So save it, and when I will refresh it, you will see there are 4 items, but there is no numbering with it. Okay, it's not giving any order. So by default it's going to give you these disk. You can convert it to the circle also. To use that, you have to actually use an attribute here with the order list, which is called as style, and there you need to give here list style type, and you need to give circle. So save it, and when you will refresh it, and you will see instead of disk now it has become the circle. You can make it square as well. So for that you need to type here square. Okay, save it and refresh, you will see it will turn into the square. You can also remove those things. You can just simply write here none, save it and refresh, you will see it has been removed. Okay, so these examples are actually given here, guys. Like you can convert it to list style type circle, and you can also go with the none as well. And for the order list, am I clear up to here? Is anyone having any question up to here? Am I clear up to here, guys? Anyone any question up to here? No question up to here? Okay, if you do not have any question, then I'll move to the next tag, which is called as break tag. So if you are using, um, maybe in case you have to use the inline element, but you want to bring them into the next line, then you can use break element. Break will move them to the next line. So let's take an example, like if I will put that text here, save it, and refresh it in the browser window, you will see that edit text which I copied, that lorem ipsum, it has been placed here. So if I will hit enter and bring it to the next line, save it and refresh, you will see the next text has been started exactly from here. Okay, as because the text which we have written there is will follow the default behavior of the web page, the default layout behavior. If I want to bring it to a new line, I will use here break element. Break is an empty element, guys, so it must be closed where it is started. You can see it's an empty element. You can save it, okay, and then you can view it in a browser, and when you will find that it has moved the text into the next line. So break will bring the element or the content to the next line, whatever the element you are using there, it will bring it to the next line. So its example are given here, you can check that. And next comes a horizontal rule. If you want to put a horizontal line, which is also then you can use hr tag, and it is also an empty element. So to use it here, maybe here before the body tag I will write hr, and you can save it and just view it in the browser, and you will find that there is a horizontal line here. Okay, and below that you can give a message, maybe it's a footer, or you can give the message for maybe all right reserves or something. Okay, so you can give that. So that's an hr element, or you can put it between the list elements, so between the ul and ol. So just save it and you can refresh it actually here, and you will find that there is a horizontal space between there is a horizontal rule between the list elements, both the lists, right? And next comes as its attribute. So it has the size. The default size is 2 pixel. Okay, size actually defines its height. Okay, the default height for the horizontal rule is 2 pixel. However, you can change it, so you can give it size. Okay, so by default is 2 pixel. I'll call it as 10 means 10 pixel. Save it and refresh it. You will see actually the height has been increased. Okay, so for to see its height, what I'm going to do, I'll change its color. So I will change its color from default to, maybe you can give the red color. So save it and I'll refresh it here, and you will see it has become the red color. Okay, I can also set its width, like how much width it should have. So for that I can write width, suppose that is 300 pixel. So save it and let's refresh it. Okay, so here you will see its width is 300 pixel, and it is, guys, by default it is aligned to the center, or you can actually increase the width more. So instead of 300 pixel you can make it 800, and when you will refresh you will see it has become 800 pixel, and you will see by default it's coming into the center of the page. Okay, so you can make it to the left, you can make it to the right. Okay, actually, guys, any element which is a block element, you can make it to either left, right, okay, or maybe center on the page. So for that you need to write here a line. Okay, a line by default is center. I'll make it as a left. So save it and let's refresh it, and you will see it has moved to the left. Okay, so as I told you, for the block element you can move it to either left or right or center. Why? Because they will take the complete horizontal space and will put the next element to the next line. So that's why you can align them either left, right, or center. So take an example for h1 tag. It's by default coming to the left, If you want to bring it to the right, you can actually write here align attribute. Align should be right. So save it and you can check that here, refresh, and you will see the page heading has been moved to the right. Okay, you can also bring it to the center, and there is one more property for it, that's called justify. Okay, if you want an equal space from left and right, then you can use justify, but that can happen, or that will happen only if the content is covering the whole line. Okay, and only then it can happen. So like for the, we use that align justify basically for the paragraph. Okay, because in the paragraph we usually have huge amount of content, that's why we use align justify for the paragraph only. So these are the examples, okay, which you can check it here. And next comes the div element. Div is called as a container element, guys. So its main purpose is to, place other elements inside it. Okay, so it's called container element. So those elements which are related to each other, you should put them in a div. And div is also a block element. Okay, so till now we have seen the appearance or maybe some behavior of the elements on the web page, but with the div you cannot see it, you cannot view it until or unless you are giving it any style. Okay, so div is a block and container element. You need to put other elements inside it. So to work with div, what I'm going to do, I'll create actually a separate page for it. Right click, go to add. So you can add the HTML page here, and I'll call it as index2.html, and it's again a new web page. And here guys, I'll create a div, and this div, every element is having an ID element with it. Remember that whatever the ID you have given to here to this div, you cannot give that same ID to any other control on the web page. Okay, for example, I'll call it as an header. Inside the header div, I will put a heading tag, or you can maybe place whatever the thing you want. So I'll give it h1, and I will set its align as center, and here I will say page heading. Okay, and you will see that page heading. So this is the first element, and after page heading I want to use horizontal rule. So save it. So these are the two things which I want to use inside the heading. So here I will go for index2.html. So guys, those two things, heading and the the horizontal rule, they are logically related to each other. Not logically, but yes, they are related to each other. So that's why I will put them under the heading div. Similarly, I will have the content div. I'll create another div, and I will give it an ID which is called as content, and here I will put maybe here heading 3. Okay, I'll write here maybe first content, and I will place that, I'll place that code. I'll copy this paragraph from here. Okay, and I'll paste that here. So this is the first content. So save it and you can refresh. So this is your content here. Similarly guys, you can have more heading. Okay, the first content, second content, and this content could be the same. Okay, so in that content div you can put those things. Okay, and guys, you can also have a footer div, and with the footer you can place whatever the footer items there you want to write. So div, I'll give it an ID as footer, and there you can actually put another horizontal rule, and after then you can write here maybe all rights are reserved. Okay, and you can refresh it. So that's the footer part. You can also put some another links in the footer. We haven't learned about the link, but we'll learn it. So then I'll explain you how you can put it. So here guys, am I clear up to here? Is anyone having any question? Anyone having any question up to here, guys? No one is having any question? Okay, if you don't have any question, then I'll move to the next topic. So div we have already seen. Next comes another. So this is how block elements will work. Next comes as a span. Span is an inline element. Okay, so so we have seen the paragraph where we can place the text, and but the paragraph is a block element. In case you want to place a text inside an inline element, you can use the span. Okay, so span is an inline element, and you can put the text inside the span tag. For an example, here whatever we have written here, this all rights reserved, you can put it actually here in span element. So span is an inline element. You can save it and refresh. You will see there is no change into it because the default flow is also inline, and span follows the default flow which is inline. Okay guys, and the next element type here will be, so this is the difference between block and inline element. Okay, some other inline elements like strong, you can use it inside the paragraph, so it will not bring the element to the next line. The strong element is an inline element. Okay, so it will not bring the element to the next line. The purpose of strong tag is to make the element bold. So wherever you have written any text, for example here, all rights and reserved, you can make it strong. So strong means actually bold. So this is HTML5 new edition. So save it and you can refresh and you will see that text has become bold. Okay, so that's a strong element. So there are many other inline elements, examples given here, you can check that. So here we have strong for the bold, and if you want to tilt it, if you want that there should be, the element should be tilted towards the right, you can go to the emphasize. You can see here inline element, the second text inline element is little bit tilted towards the right, right? It's bended towards the right, so that is emphasis. Next comes image element. If you want to display any image on your web page, you can use the image element. Okay. So let's see that, or you can use it for an example. I have actually downloaded one image, so which is Entra's logo. Let me copy it. If you want an image, just copy it in your project. So let's go to Solution Explorer. Here right click on your HTML project, go to add and add that new folder. I will name it as images, and inside that images folder just paste the image which you have copied. Okay, I copied it from that document, so I will paste it here. I'll go to the Solution Explorer and I will create actually a new page where I will put that image tag. So in that I'll write here index3.html. Okay guys, now I want to put an image there. For that I will write img tag. Image is a block, inline element, and it is an empty element. Here you need to write source. Source is equals to, guys, it will the Visual Studio will tell you where actually the source is. So we need to go to the images folder. There we have logo.png. Just save it. You can go to the browser here. Sorry guys. So from here you can go to the browser, and instead of index2 you can go to index3. Here you will see this is the Entra logo image which we copied and we pasted it, we put it into our web page, right? And guys, this image is currently not giving us any option. Let's take an example, like if I will take the cursor on Entra, it's not showing anything on the tooltip. If you want to display anything on any text on the tooltip on that image, you need to use the title attribute. Title attribute will tell that what that image is. So I'll write here this is Entra logo. So save it and just refresh, and now guys take the cursor on the image and you will see in the tooltip it's displaying that this is an Entra logo. Okay, so sometimes what happen guys, maybe some person will remove or maybe some person may delete this image or maybe rename the image name here. For example, here instead of logo I'll name it as Entra logo. So as a name image has been renamed, so if you will view your web page, refresh it, you will see that is not being displayed here, right? So currently it's putting the title here, this is Entra logo. But guys, you can do one more thing. Instead of displaying it, you can write alt stands for alternate text. So I'll call it as logo. So save it, and when you will refresh, you will see that text is displayed here. Okay, so sometimes you may not use the tooltip and others, so it is always important to use alternate attribute to the image, because if your image is not loading, your browser must tell that what image or what content are you missing. Here you may see that it's displaying you this icon, this type of distorted icon, that your image is not loaded. Give me a minute guys,